Hello, Alicia.
Hello.
Welcome to the Life and Net podcast.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here, I think.
We'll find out after about 30 minutes or so.
Okay.
How's your day been so far? Good?
Yeah, it's been very good. Thank you.
Yeah.
It's good for a Friday. Fridays are always good, aren't they?
Yeah. Fridays are really good.
Yeah.
Fridays are really good.
But no,
So talk to us about your life at Next then. So how long you been here?
28 years next month. in
Another long
February.
server.
Yeah, I've pretty much grown up here.
Wow.
Like
That's
say-
a nice way of putting it.
Yeah, I kind of came. I did have a job before here for sort of 6 months, and then I started as a trainee here, and then still here now. So yeah, got married, had kids, moved around apartments, still here.
That's brilliant. So you've experienced that whole trainee thing that we've been renowned for ages, haven't you?
Yeah.
Then,
Yeah.
and gone through the whole process. So talk me through some of that then. So what area did you start? What area of the business did you start in?
So I've always done women's wear.
Always done women's wear.
Yeah.
And is that your
actually-
passion as well then?
Yeah. I just
love it.
Yeah, I can't really see myself on other areas, but I don't know. But yeah, women's wear is because I love clothes.
Never say never though.
Obviously, I don't want to hinder my career path right now and say I'll never do anything else. But because I am a woman and I wear women's clothes, that is what I am passionate about. For me, it's not work. I'm shopping all the time. When I go home in the evening at the weekend and I'm online and on Instagram, I'm just shopping all the time and looking at what trends are. So it's that's what I want to do. So I started on women's wear as a trainee.
Yeah.
And then I started on, it's changed, the whole business has evolved so much since when I started.
Yeah.
I mean, the company is so much bigger than when I started. So when I started, the area on women's wear was, I think it was like wovens, but it was everything. So it was trousers, shorts, skirts. But then I think we also bought coats and jackets.
Oh, wow.
So it was just one massive area, and I was the trainee on that area. Since then, now it's all been divided up. But I did that for a while. And then I became the buyer on tailoring and soft tailoring. And then I became the buyer on casual wear and casual wovens. And then I became the buying manager on tops. And then I think I left on my first child when I did that. Came back and became the buying manager on bottoms and outerwear. Then moved back to tops. So basically I did that for 20 years on women's wear.
Just circling
Moved
round. Yeah.
And then I took a short break. I felt like I'd been here for 20 years. I didn't want to go anywhere else, but I kind of figured I wanted to take a bit of a break. I was doing lots of travelling and I loved it, but I thought I got young children at home. I was going to take a bit of a break. So then I left, but with nowhere else to go. And then I don't even know if it was 4 months. I came back again. I had the summer off and I loved it.
Yeah.
But then it was just a bit, I don't know, I was a bit like, I'm a bit of a loss. And actually, I didn't really want to go anywhere else.
Right. So it wasn't a desire to join another business or
absolutely
anything?
No. So then the opportunity came up to maybe do a maternity cover on non-clothing. And I'd never done non-clothing. So I thought, that might be different. Yeah, I could do that. Just for 6 months, see how I get on. And that was about 8 years ago.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm still here. So then I went to non-clothing, which is obviously shoes and lingerie and swimwear. So whole new product area, something I'd never done before. And it was brilliant, actually. That is probably what I needed to kind of reinvigorate my love of buying and what I was doing. I think I hadn't realised it, but I was probably just in a little bit of a 20 years of doing the same kind of thing, a bit of a rut and having had children and doing lots of travelling. Coming back to that, it was like, this is amazing. And I'm learning something new and travelling to different places. So I did that for coming up to 8 years. And then 2 weeks ago, so last week, I moved to women's wear again. So back to women's wear, where I started as product director there.
Wow.
So I've basically
what a journey though.
Yeah.
What a journey. And what out of all of that, what do you think was the biggest leap you ever noticed or felt, or the biggest change when it was like, oh God, this is new, this is more of a challenge, this is more exciting?
And there's been a lot, I think. Like I say, the business has evolved so much. So when I started, online wasn't really a thing. So we had the book. And the Bible,
the directory,
everyone had it. It was a huge
everyone
Bible,
had it.
and everybody lived by the Bible and the outfit. I'm like literally shopping the whole outfit from top to bottom, to shoes to the necklace, everything. So we lived by the book, but over time, obviously, we've gone online. And I mean, I don't even think I had a mobile phone when I started here, like 28 years ago. I honestly don't. So Instagram, any of that wasn't online apps. It wasn't even a thing.
Yeah.
So I think the change from going from that big book where you actually phoned up, flicked through, a bit like the Argos catalogue, where you flicked through, circled it, and then phoned up, to now just being on the app and obviously like selecting an add to bag, and that
getting
whole
it
world
next
of
day.
change,
Yeah.
and how quick that is now. I think that's probably been the biggest shift from a product point of view. Yeah, I think so. And then now moving internationally and globally and everything else, it's a whole different ball game. I think professionally, probably going from being the buyer of a team, when you work as a team, so if you work on tailoring or denim, that team is so close, the designer, the merchandiser, the buyer, the technologist, you work so closely together. And then I think going to be a manager, you kind of you're in a group of managers, but you're kind of sitting on your own.
Right.
It's a really big shift, I think, from your lovely team, and you'll sit together and have lunch every day in your team, and then you're kind of then the manager on your own, and nobody wants to sit with you. And then when you go to director, it's even worse, and you sit on your own in an office, and definitely no one wants to sit with you. I go into the design presentations now, and then I'll sit at the front, and there'll be like 3 or 4 chairs next to me with nobody on, and there's all these people standing at the back. It's like, come and sit next to me. So I think that's the biggest probably shift that you notice.
Yeah.
But most people then will come and sit next to me. Yeah. I'm not that scary.
No, definitely not. Definitely not. But when you go from, so a buyer obviously is that smaller team, but buying manager will have a group of buyers that they will look after, won't they?
Yeah. 3 or 4 buyers.
3 or 4 buyers.
So that is then your team, if you like. And then your other managers, the merch managers, the design managers, the quality manager, that then becomes your team as well.
Big shift then. But it
is a big shift to get your head around.
Yeah.
But yes, it's good.
And now you are, like you said, the Womenswear Director. So that's been pretty exciting past couple of months or weeks. Then,
Yeah,
definitely. Yeah.
And interestingly, the managers now, I think Becky Lodge was my trainee when I was the buyer. When I was the buyer. Andy, I worked with him. I think he came in as a trainee when I was buying.
I think he came from store as well.
He did, and he was sort of a trainee when I was on the assistant buyer or buyer. So all of them I know, and that I've known them since they were trainees, all of them.
Wow.
All the managers.
So you've got that real good relationship going back into it.
Yeah.
And would you say that's one thing that, especially in women's wear or in product in general, that's the way we keep being the business we are? We have good people to make the product.
Completely.
Yeah.
For me, it's all about the people. The people create the product, and people make the product better. And I think the fact as a team you can be quite open in your discussion, and you're passionate about what it is you want to do. You're passionate about the next brand and about making it the best it can be, but it's the people that drive that 100%.
Interesting. And in terms of the brand, how do you think product shapes like the next brand as overall? I guess it's quite important.
How does next shape the product brand overall? I think because it is such a strong brand and people know the next brand. I mean, every household must have somebody within it, whether it's the mum, the daughter, somebody shops from Next, whether it's for their homeware, their children's wear, or the mum, the dad. Everybody knows the Next brand, and they know it's synonymous with good quality, good delivery. You know, I think we're quite reliable, but having that kind of brand identity, I think then gives people the opportunity to experiment with things, to push things, to try new things, because the Next brand is safe and it's relied upon, but also you want to then push it forward, evolve it a bit more, saying, look what else we can do, look what else we can offer. We're not just about this, we're also doing this, and we're doing this, and we're trying this. So I think it's important, the brand, that the quality is always there. I mean, there's certain things that never change. Yeah. So if we want to do a range that's younger, for example, so on non-clothing, we created a range called Self. And that was the assistants that came up with that, the assistant buyers. It was something that they wanted to wear. It was at the weekends they were wearing sort of loungewear, leisure wear, and they didn't think we necessarily had anything for them.
Interesting.
So they created a range and a brand for them. And I think it was still had to be Next quality, and it still had to have next design, and it, you know, it was sustainable, it was ethically sourced, but it was the ethos of it was something new because it was for a younger customer.
Nice.
But I think the reliability of the next brand kind of allows you to try other things. I don't think it can trap you.
No.
That we're next, and this is our customer, and she's 45 to 55, so therefore this is what we offer to her. I think we can be much more flexible with the brand, but it still ultimately has to be good quality. It has to be from the right factory. It has to be a good price. That's what people expect.
As the minimum, yeah.
As the absolute minimum.
Absolute minimum.
Yeah, they expect to be able to wear that for 5 or 10 years and it for never, ever to wear out, to shrink, to go into hole. And it's hard, actually. I think if you buy something cheaper, but it's a bit more throwaway fashion, and you wash it and it shrinks, people are just like, oh, well, what do you expect? It's from there and it only costs this.
Yes.
If you buy something that's more reasonable from Next, you still expect to last a lifetime, I think. Like friends would say to me, oh, it's only this. I only washed it like 5 times. What do you expect? But the expectation is, that will last forever if it's from Next. So
Yeah.
I think there's high expectations, but that doesn't stop us doing new things or trying new things.
No, it's a bit like a really well trusted friend, isn't it? In a way, like you trust what they're saying, and then it's like, oh, that friend's also doing all these new cool things.
Yeah.
Like,
You don't want to be the boring friend, do
No,
you?
no,
Do you know what I mean?
no,
You've got to,
no,
sometimes
no.
you've got to be the
Yeah,
friend
yeah,
that
yeah.
kind of surprises you
Yeah,
a little bit,
yeah.
or that, you know, at the weekend, that's the friend that you want to see, that you want to be going out with. So I think it's really important that we're not the boring friend.
Yeah.
That, you know, sometimes we surprise you a bit, or that there's new, exciting things happening.
And where's your love from? Because you were saying right at the start, like you just living and breathing fashion and trends and that. Where's that come from? Like, has that always just been there, or from like a young age, or always loved it?
I think so. I was thinking about it. At university, I didn't study fashion. I studied media and kind of social studies, communication studies. So originally, and I used to go to like drama school and things like that. So originally, I kind of wanted to go into the media and acting, drama, So I did that degree, came back. I did go to I used to work on a radio station in Sunderland.
Really? No way.
Weir FM. I used to do the news on Weir FM.
Wow.
And so then when I came back, I went to like Radio Leicester and various other stations. But you have to start as like a runner, like a T-girl.
You do anything.
Yeah, and it's like, what do you get paid to do that? And it was nothing. I was like, I don't think my shopping habit can survive on nothing. So then I was like, it's not me. So then I worked in shops. So I worked at Topshop. I worked everywhere. I worked in stores, Topshop, M&S, everywhere. Dulce, shoe shops. I mean, they don't even exist now, these shops, but that's how old I am. So that was my thing. And then I used to like going out. It was the 90s. I went out a lot. I went clubbing. It was kind of clothes, music. That was just my thing. And then it was like, I think I could actually stop making this a hobby and actually make a career out of this. So I was working at, I think it was Wallace. It was part of the Sears group on a Saturday, like 4 hours on a Saturday. Yeah. I'd work there for 4 hours, and then I'd work at M&S for 4 hours, so I'd have to run from one to the other. And that was like and then I'd get picked up, and then I'd go out for the night. So that was my Saturday.
That was your Saturday, yeah.
And then when I was there, I applied for a trainee buyer as part of the scheme at Sears, and I did sort of 6 months there, and then came to next to the training. I thought, wow, I can actually make a career out of what I love.
It's good you can do that though, isn't it? Yeah, it's really good.
Really important.
Really important as well to keep you engaged and keep putting that passion forward as well.
Yeah. You've got to love it. I think if you love something, it's not like work, is it? You know, like I say, I go home and I'm looking at what's new in the shops. I'm looking at what's on Instagram. That's not work, but it kind of is work, because then I'm thinking, well, snapshot that and I'll snapshot that. Oh, I love that. Oh, I've seen that this animal's coming back on trend again. Oh, okay. I need to think to go, when I get back into work, we need to think about that then. Have we got animal? So it's not a job in that kind of, I'm doing what I love, but then if you're doing what you love, then hopefully you'll be good at it.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I'd be the same, like, you know, working in social media and marketing and communications, social media. when I'm on social media, I'm probably getting to the technical too much.
Yeah.
To the point where I'm just like, oh, how have they done that? And then I'll try and find out how they've done it. And if there's a video of behind the scenes and what have they done and all of this. And you just find yourself, you enjoy it.
Yeah,
So,
you're doing it because you enjoy it.
You do it,
not
you enjoy it
because
because someone said you've got to do this.
Yeah.
Like, yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
exactly.
You've got to drive that passion forward. So do you think it's, so just talking about the brand again,
Yeah.
does have it, so obviously the product really helps the brand, but does having a strong brand also help with the product as well and shaping that, or do they work in
Yeah.
tandem?
I think it helps the product in terms of getting it out there. It's a platform, isn't it, for everybody to then sell that product and sell it. You know, the fact that we're going worldwide now, the fact that we're looking at China and India and America, it's a platform for you to get your product out more. It's a platform for us to buy, I don't know, but you get better prices, to get better fabrics, to push the boundaries. So I think it helps in that way.
Yeah.
But I still think it's the people that create the product.
It's still, it always
Yeah.
goes back to the people. Yeah.
For me, it does, I think.
Yeah.
But the exciting thing is now that, you know, that product is getting to a wider audience now, and that's exciting for everybody.
Yeah,
I think,
big time.
To think, wow, that's from a designer, you know, that product I created, actually, that's selling really well in Germany, and actually they've selected it now and they're going to look at it in America, and like that's got to be exciting as a designer to think your product is getting out to a bigger market now and more people are wearing it. And
is that one of the most exciting things you think coming up for the product teams in general, of the actual growth and scope of international, and or is there other things you think that are on the horizon that are actually
I don't know. I don't know how much the buying team necessarily think about how big globally it's going to be. I think ultimately we're quite in the detail of just buying really nice clothes that we want to wear. Or that's where I am. I'm kind of, I mean, I've just obviously only just started on Womenswear, but it's definitely a case of, do we like it? Do you love it? Is that something you want to wear? Okay, that's brilliant. Let's do that. Do we love this print? Does everyone in here, do we love this? Okay. If we don't love it, let's start again then. Let's find something that we do love. And I think you're not thinking, will it sell in India, or internationally, will it be big? I think you're just thinking, is this a brilliant product? Is it a brilliant price? Do I love the fabric? Do I love the style? Is it something that I want to wear? Is it something that I'd be proud of if I saw in the shop and I'd say to my friends, oh yeah, that's one of mine. You know what I mean? Which is what, or you're going on holiday at the airport. I do that all the time with my family. I was like, oh, that's from Next. See that bag there? That was one of ours. That was a bestseller, actually. That bag. And they're just like, oh my God, that's so boring. Do you know everything that I'm like, yeah, pretty much do, actually, yeah. Her shoes are from Next. And on holiday, they're English because that's from Next. But actually, maybe they're not. Maybe they have put it internationally. But so I just think, you're just thinking, is this product the best product that it can be, basically? And do I love it? Would I be proud to say that that's from my range, that's one of ours, that's from Next.
Is it tough then to get the balance between product that's exciting and people love and product that then sells as well, or does it not matter?
It's the same thing.
Same thing.
If it's product that is exciting, it'll sell.
Yeah.
If you're in a room, and that's kind of the thing whereby it's not. I think maybe a long time ago, we used to think Next was perhaps a bit mumsy, and like say young people might think that their mum loved Next and that's where she shops. But now, for me, I want the people at Next in my team to be wearing their product because they love it, not because they get 25% discount, but because they
good discount, but
genuinely because they love it, because it's nice, and like I say, it's a good price, it's good quality, but actually it's cool. I'm wearing it because I like it, not because of anything else. I would buy this anyway. So I think we're doing that more and more. And I mean, I obviously am older than most of all of the tradies, the assistants, the buyers, but I don't dress any differently. I wear what they want to wear. I wear, you know what I mean? I if that's the trend, I want to wear it.
Yeah.
Just the same as they want to wear it. So, yeah, I think it's just really important that you don't try to put people into boxes that this is for that age of customer and this is for that lady and this is for the lady. You just buy nice things that we all want to wear.
And I guess that's kind of reflective, because the next customer as well, isn't it? We're not like some of the other competitors where it's like you kind of know their audiences.
Yeah, I mean, it's so broad.
It's so broad.
We are literally appealing to everybody, aren't we?
Everyone.
From the baby all the way up to the grandma or whatever, everybody.
Everyone.
And that is why it is hard,
Yeah.
I think, because like you say, if you were, I suppose in the olden days, but Topshop, they knew who their customer was, they knew the demographic of who they were aiming to, and they hit it, and you went in there and you could find something that you wanted to wear. We're trying to be so broad. It is difficult, but I think that's when, if you fall into the trap of trying to say this is for that lady, this is for that lady, this is for somebody maybe a bit older, you get into the trap of maybe buying things that you don't actually like because you think they're for somebody else. Yeah. But you don't really know because who is this lady that you think will like to wear that? So I think now we're just kind of saying, let's just buy really nice things that we all like. Yeah.
Make it simple.
Yeah. And like you say, if it's exciting, it probably will be a bestseller. Yeah. If we all like it, it probably will be a bestseller.
So why can't the 22-year-old and the 62-year-old both be wearing the same thing, but just in different ways?
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. I wear the same things as the trainees, whether I should or I shouldn't. I don't think I look that odd, that bonkers wearing it. So I might not wear a skort. There's certain things that I might draw a line on. But generally, I'd say we all wear similar things.
Yeah. No, I that's a really nice way of looking at it, and it's quite a fresh approach actually, to be like just focusing on the product and stuff, and kind of really pushing that forward as well.
I think because our product is really good quality, so we use really nice fabrics. The fit is really good. You can wear that style whether you're whatever size you are, whatever age you are. I think you could buy the trend piece and look good in it. I might not be able to buy it from, I don't know, somewhere else if it was a bit cheaper and actually the fit wasn't very good, the fabric wasn't very nice. It probably wouldn't suit me. It might look good on someone younger, but it perhaps wouldn't flatter me. But actually, I think because of the way our clothes are and the fits are good and the fabrics are good, anyone can wear them.
What goes into making sure we always, that quality's there? Like, is there loads of things, loads of different teams involved in that?
Yeah, right from the very beginning.
Right.
Everything starts with fabric.
Right, everything.
That is we're already looking now for spring, summer 25 from a fabric point of view. So they're starting to do fabric shows. So they'll be going next month to Paris, to PV, to look at spring, summer 25 fabrics. So the trends, the big macro trends, they'll come back and say, fabrics have started to become textured. So say now there's lots of textured fabrics and they used to be flat. As a macro trend, they'll come back with that. But that's probably a year ahead of when we're going to start selling those things. Right. But it all starts with that. And then you can buy cheap versions of that. You can buy mid-price versions of that. You can buy really expensive versions of that. And it's getting the one that performs, that washes, that, doesn't rip, that doesn't... We'll be very specific about that. We'll test them. We'll make sure it does the job, that it's good quality. And I think that's what makes our product reliable, if you like, in that you can buy it from us and it will be good quality. Fabric's really, really important. Was that the question?
Yeah. No, definitely was. No, definitely was.
I'm waffling on a bit.
No, you really got into it. I didn't want to disturb you. I was like, oh, this is really good. Like, it's really interesting, actually, because, I guess you'd think, some people might just think, oh, right, we're just going to go out and try and get a trend and just, tick a box or...
And sometimes you might do that. If we've missed a trend, then we would definitely be saying, you've got to get this in as soon as you can. Right. But we would still test it. It's still got to perform. So it would be relatively as quick as you can. If you didn't have to do any testing and it didn't matter if you washed it and then it shrank, you could probably get something in. You could find some fabric somewhere and get that in, I don't know, a month, 4 or 5 weeks. Yeah. We've got to make sure it performs. So it might be it takes an extra week or 2 weeks. So it's still relatively quick. But it has got to perform. There is that expectation. People come to us because our product is reliable.
And it's really good quality.
Yeah.
Really good
and we're not
quality.
the cheapest, though. If you
No,
like you say,
no.
if we were the cheapest, then that's fair enough. You might expect that, but we're not. So why am I paying more for this if it's not going to perform, if it's going to shrink or it's going to tear? So yeah, there's an expectation it has to do that. So it's quick, but it's relative to making sure it does the job as well, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, no, definitely. And just going back to like you and kind of the great, the career that you've had so far and you'll continue to have, like, what do you think someone either just starting or coming into the business, or what do you think, like, what advice would you give to them in terms of, like, just being it next?
I think it's just being yourself. I think there are so many opportunities at Next.
Yeah.
I say, I have done quite well for myself, even if I do say so.
You have. I'll say it. You have done well.
But I wouldn't say I'm a particularly pushy person. I really love what I do.
Yeah.
And I've worked really hard, I would say. So in the beginning, I did work really long hours, like really long days. And actually, we all used to go out after work and have a really good time as well. And so I've worked hard, I would say. And actually, if you do work hard, there are so many opportunities here for people. I mean, the business, I say, has grown and grown and grown. I've stayed on womenswear. But actually, you could move to any department you wanted. You could now move to brands. I mean, that wasn't there when I started. Nope. That's a whole new business that's open to anyone that works at Next as well. So the opportunities actually for you then to progress, develop, take a different angle of saying, I'd quite like to try this or, I'd quite like to try that, are just endless. And I think if you work really hard and you're just yourself and you're doing it because you enjoy it, then I think, you can do really well for yourself.
Yeah.
You can be here 28 years later like me and still enjoying it.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the key though, because if you're not going to be yourself, eventually it's going to catch up with you as well, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I'm sure, everybody gets that kind of imposter syndrome at some point, and we all sit in meetings where you just think, oh my God, I don't know what they're talking about. Because if it's not a fashion meeting, if it is about budgets or finance or,
or
you
tech,
sit there. I
know that. Yeah. This isn't working on the site. This is working really well on the site because of this. Yeah. Okay.
But that's the thing. I think you can't pretend to know things you don't know either. Like if someone was to ask me something, I've just moved to womenswear. So if someone asks me something and I don't know, I'll just say I don't know.
I'll go and find out.
Yeah, I don't know. But that's fine as well, isn't it? I think we want everyone to have an opinion. I do want everyone to have an opinion. I want people to be able to say that they don't know or actually they don't like something. If I'm in a meeting, I want someone to be able to say, I don't actually like that.
And is that important at all levels as well, regardless? Yeah, it's not like you've got to be a buying manager or a buyer to do that. You want all people, no matter however. Doesn't matter if they've been here 8 months or 28 years.
Yeah, I want. That's the whole. And I think coming in as a trainee, that is really important. That we bring people in. We want them to have an opinion. Like I want my trainees to have an opinion. Yeah. I want to know. They know much better than I do what's trending on TikTok. So I want you to tell me what is the next big trend? What are people talking about on TikTok? What is it? What's coming through? It's really, really important that we get their opinion and that they're here to have a voice. They're not here to just Kimball prices onto garments and put them on a rail. They're here to hopefully have a long career to progress, but also to have a voice. Like they are the young generation. And I think for me, we need to get the young generation on board. We need to start shopping with us. We don't want them to, the parents to buy it for the kids. They get to a certain age, leave and go to wherever. Yeah. And then later on in life, when they buy a house, they might start coming back to us to look for the homeware and then they start shopping again. We want to keep them all the way through. Yeah. And I think that the trainee element is where we need to capture a bit like that self-range. Yeah. If you're not finding anything at Next to buy to wear at the weekend, then create it, come up with it. What is it that you want to wear? Okay, it's some sort of athleisure loungewear. Okay, let's
and that came from the assistants, did you say, as well? Yeah, so that was...
assistants and the designers just talking about just basically a gap that they thought there was in the ranges.
And then they just presented that, did they? And went,
tears of things and things on Instagram and follow, influencers that they followed, that they liked and what they were wearing and shopping. And it's like, okay, come up with it and then create it.
And that's that's out there now,
Yeah,
is it,
it's
as
a
well?
full range
Sorry,
called
yeah.
Self. So we don't call it Next, actually. It's called Self.
Self.
So it doesn't say Next on it, but it is Next.
It is Next, yeah. And
Because that was another thing. They didn't want it to say Next. They didn't mind buying it from Next, and they wanted the quality to be Next.
Yeah.
But actually, because it's quite branded, they didn't necessarily want it to say Next. So we've called it Self. It's doing really well.
Oh, good. Oh, good. Oh, good.
Yeah. But even if it hadn't, again, we might try 5 new things. 2 or 3 of them might work. 2 of them might not work. That's all right. We tried it. That didn't work, but that did. So it's really important that you just keep trying things, and if they don't work, then that's fine. You know,
take
on.
those mini risks. Yeah, definitely.
It's fine in the grand scheme of things. The fact that we bought, I don't know, 5,000 of that and it didn't sell, that's fine. Like, we bought all these other things and they did work, so it's fine. Or we bought these 3 things and they were brilliant, so that's fine. Like you say, you've got to try things. And everyone's got to, I think, feel that they can say that they want to try this, that they've got a voice. I think that's really important.
Yeah, I do as well. And no matter what meeting you're in, just being able to feel like your voice is heard as well.
Yeah, completely. I mean, we've all got different tastes and different opinions, haven't we?
Massively.
And you need to be able to feel that you're not going to be criticised, or if you say your opinion, that's fine. Like I say, that I'll say things. There's often things in meetings where I'll just say, that's not for me. But who here would wear that? Who likes that? And then there will be people saying I like it. And I go, okay.
Fine.
If you like that and you would wear that and you think that's right, yeah, put it in.
Because it is very opinion based, isn't it? Like fashion and product anyway.
Yeah.
So I guess that's what something that I'm always like, how do you get that how do you get that good balance in those product selection, isn't it? Mainly that you'll be doing that.
We've been talking about this a lot recently.
Have
actually.
you?
Yeah, just about choice, about like you were saying earlier, they're so broad, our customer base. If you're only appealing to me, then that's only one part of the customer base, isn't it? So there should be things in the range that I don't want to wear because that's not my style, if you like.
Yeah.
But I've still got to like it. I've still got to say that that's a nice version of that. I wouldn't wear it because it's just not my thing. But actually, I can appreciate that's really nice.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's a nice print, whatever it is.
It's good quality. The print's nice, but
it's a nice design. It's just not for me. But if everything was my style, it'd be all right for me. But lots of people that wouldn't be able to wear it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. So, great. Well, thank you for coming on.
Oh, is that it?
That is it. That is it. Yeah, no.
Wasn't as bad as I thought.
But no, it's been, great chatting. And also, good luck with the new Womenswear Director challenge ahead. We'll have to get you back on again in the future.
Yeah. Well, I hope so, yeah. Let's see how it goes.